Coming up on After the Whistle, we take a look back on the 2023 football season in District 6.
Plus, we reveal our season awards for Player of the Year, upcoming team, and top 5 plays.
And we look ahead to Penn State's New Year's Six bowl game. All that and more is on the way. Hello and welcome into After the Whistle, brought to you by Com Radio, Center County Report, and Penn State's Chapter of Awesome. I'm John Drager.
And I'm Carlos Garcia. Stay tuned for our After the Whistle awards coming up.
And I'm Mike Bolger. With the holiday season officially underway, we wrap up the 2023 high school football season right here on After the Whistle. We kick off our recap show in Bald Eagle, where After the Whistle reporter Nico Rodriguez caught up with head coach Jesse Nagel. Nico, what did you see from the team?
Yeah, Mike. So Coach Nagel said that it is always the expectation to win a state championship, and they thought this was the group of guys this year, but they ran into a hammer with Southern Columbia. Let's take a look.
The Bald Eagle area, Bald Eagles had one of their best seasons in recent memory. They didn't see their first loss until the 7th game of the season, where they fell to Clearfield 13-7. They continued to steamroll the competition, where they won their next 6 games. The Eagles were dialed in from the start.
Nothing real specific. I would just keep proving people wrong. Prove everybody wrong type mentality. A lot of teams, I thought that they felt that they had an opportunity to beat us, and I made sure that I told the kids that we don't want to just beat teams. We want to make sure they understand that they had no chance of beating us.
The Eagles had one of their best seasons offensively in program history, with 70 offensive touchdowns and nearly 5,500 total yards of offense. The offense had multiple weapons like Cale Burns, Gavin Burns, and Cameron Watkins, all who had over 700 receiving yards, which shows just how strong this team's connection really is.
This group, they're best friends outside of it. I see them not just in different groups, I see them in packs.
It wasn't just the offense that balled out all year long. The defense was the backbone for this team. While not as spotlighted, the defense held their own and some.
Now this team is losing a lot of weapons, and probably the 2 best defensive ends that we've ever had at Bald Eagle, losing them too. It's not, you can't really replace those guys. We're just going to have to figure out the younger guys.
2 of the best defensive ends Bald Eagle has ever seen are seniors Eric Clark and Alex Lefebvre, both of which had at least 11 sacks, 27 tackles for loss, and 77 and 87 total tackles. However, it was all too good to be true as Bald Eagles' season wrapped up in the District 2A quarterfinals when they lost to Southern Columbia 18-8.
Bald Eagles' season unfortunately did not end the way they wanted it to, but the team is already gearing towards next season. Per Coach Nagel, the team has already started practicing. They will fully ramp up after Christmas with workouts 3 times a week and turf work 2 times a week. Reporting in studio, I'm Nico Rodriguez. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Nico. The Central Dragons had another dominating season. Reporter Andrew Deal breaks it down.
After a deep run into the state playoffs a year ago, the Central Dragons had similar aspirations this season. The Dragons went undefeated in regular season play, going a perfect 11-0 as the high-octane offense averaged 36 points per game. They were led by junior quarterback and first-year starter Eli Muethler. The air raid offense of Central fit Muethler perfectly. Muethler threw for 2,800 yards and 32 touchdowns on the season. Senior receivers Jack Dunn and Jacob Benton combined for nearly 2,000 yards and 22 touchdowns. The Dragons were able to use the ground game as well, as Hunter Smith ran for over 1,000 yards and 24 touchdowns. Entering the playoffs, Central took on Penn Cambria for the District 6 championship. The coaching staff allowed Muethler to let it fly, connecting on multiple deep balls, including the game-winning touchdown to Benton with 14 seconds to go. This win made it 4 District 6 titles in a row for the Dragons. Benton had 8 catches for 147 yards and a touchdown in the game. The Dragons moved on to the PIAA playoffs, where they defeated a familiar Clearfield team, 41-35 in double overtime. Central would go on to lose the following week in the quarterfinals to Hickory, 26-13, but it was another successful season for the Dragons. Central is graduating 20 players, including Smith, Dunn, and Benton. However, Muethler returns for his senior season with a whole new set of weapons around him, looking to win Central's 5th straight District 6 title. Reporting in studio, I'm Andrew Deal.
Thanks, Andrew. Reporter Jack Rachinsky went in depth on Penn Valley's 6-5 season. Here's the story.
The season began with a 90-yard kickoff return touchdown by Fletcher Ironside. The Penns Valley Rams went into the 2023 season looking to avenge last season's loss to Bishop Guilfoyle in the District 6 AA Championship. Despite starting 4-1, head coach Martin Tobias' squad would finish 6-5, ending the year with a 45-7 loss to Richland in the first round of the playoffs. Still, the Rams season had many positives, like the swan song for 3 of their top seniors. Starting quarterback Jackson Romick threw for 9 touchdowns with an over 57% completion rate. His number 1 receiver, John Meyer, notched 11 touchdowns of his own, recovered 2 fumbles as a defensive back, and spearheaded a tremendous Penns Valley special teams unit, finishing 5th in the entire state in total return yards. However, the biggest piece of the team came from running back Ty Watson. Number 21 was number 3 in all of District 6 for rushing yards, and first in the Laurel Highlands Conference, with 1,483 and averaging 134 yards per game. Watson will still be wearing blue and white next year, though, as he announced his commitment to Penn State's reigning national champion wrestling team last month. With these 3, in addition to backup quarterback Jared Stouffer graduating, Penns Valley will have to rely on their underclassmen stepping up next season if they want to get back to the top of the AA division. Reporting in the studio, I'm Jack Raczynski. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jack. The Tyrone Golden Eagles had a roller coaster of a season that saw them finish 6-5. Reporter Justin Chevalella has more.
Team Toughness Tyrone. That was the motto that led the Tyrone Golden Eagles to a 7-3 record during the 2022 campaign. It was that same 3-word mantra that took on new meaning as the Golden Eagles looked to soar one level higher in 2023. With a new challenge under their wings in adjusting to the Laurel Highlands Conference, the Golden Eagles struggled out of the gate, in part due to injuries to the flock.
Well, the first couple of games, we were 1-3 before we started our streak, but we had a lot of guys out with injuries, and it's not a coincidence that as they started to come back, we started to play better.
The improved health started to show as Tyrone hosted a familiar opponent in the Bellwood Antis Blue Devils for Game 5. Tyrone bested their longtime rival in the backyard brawl 34-0. That victory was the start of a 5-game winning streak for Coach Franco's squad, a streak that saw the Golden Eagles outscore opponents 171-53, while averaging 34.2 points per game. Led by 2 wave returners, including Andrew Weaver and Brady Ronan, along with quarterback Ashton Walk, Tyrone watched its season-long goal come close to fruition.
Our goal all year has been to play our best football by game number 11. So in every phase of the game, we're trying to get better each week.
Game number 10 disrupted the flight of the Golden Eagles as they were knocked off by 2 points in a competitive battle against Forest Hills. Ultimately, game number 11 finished in a similar fashion for Tyrone as it lost by 4 points to Penn Cambria. Although the season ended in heartbreak, Team Toughness Tyrone prevailed as the Golden Eagles made a slow start turn into a playoff year. Reporting for After the Whistle, I'm Justin Chevalella.
Thanks, Justin. Now it's time to announce the first After the Whistle award, our up-and-coming Team of the Year.
Yeah, we know this team had a rough year in 2022, but a bounce-back year in 2023. So, our 2023 Up-and-Coming Team of the Year award goes to Hollidaysburg Golden Eagles. From sacks, interceptions, and blocked field goals, the Golden Tigers went through it all, ending last year's season 20th in District 6 with a 2-8 record. But despite their hardships, last year the Golden Tigers came back with a new level of determination and skill, and something to prove, finishing 5th overall in District 6 and scoring 313 points, over 100 points better than last year. Hollidaysburg closed their season off as a Class 5A champions. We'll see next year if this upward trend continues. Our own Annika Wagner is in the studio to report. Annika, what'd you see from them?
Well, I won't give away too much, but it was a different looking team this year out at Tiger Stadium. The Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers were hungry coming into the season, looking to improve on a devastating 2-8 record the year before. The Golden Tigers were eager to make a complete turnaround and make their mark on the 2023 season. In their first game against Altoona, Hollidaysburg tested the water, switching between quarterbacks. But ultimately, it was junior Maddox Bainey who stepped into the role. In his first year as the Golden Tigers starting quarterback, Bainey showed his passing abilities, bringing a new element of chemistry the Golden Tigers so desperately needed going into the season. Bainey threw for about 1,100 yards with a completion percentage of 562. He threw 17 touchdown passes. Another element that added to the Golden Tigers this season was Drew Weiland, who led the rush game for Hollidaysburg. Weiland rushed for 590 yards this season. While the team carried for 17 touchdowns, Weiland accounted for 5 of those touchdowns this season. Another way the Golden Tigers showed up this year was in defense, with 16 interceptions and 10 recovered fumbles, forcing 9 of them. A player who showed up big was sophomore defensive back Josh Banks. Banks averaged about 5 tackles a game. This season, he caught an interception and forced 3 fumbles. The Golden Tigers successfully executed their turnaround, going 5-6 this season. Hollidaysburg will look to continue moving in the right direction next year under head coach Homer Delatra. Reporting in studio, I'm Annika Wagner. Now back to you.
Thanks, Annika. Now let's turn to the team from our backyard, the State High Little Lions. Reporter Cora Rodriguez recaps their year that looked a little different from 2022.
In the backyard of the Nittany Lions, the State College Little Lions completed their season below their expectations. With a 7-4 record, this team has seen adversity in 2023. The Little Lions started off with a win, but one missed field goal against Downingtown East. They notched their first loss. But Michael Gall was not worried about that game.
Our resiliency to really get that to a 2-point game and then have a field goal missed by maybe a foot, probably less than that. I'm really proud of how we bounced back and we didn't back down. They punched us in the mouth and we stood right back up.
He would be correct, because what followed was a 4-game win streak, which looked to be a start of another groundbreaking season. But with every win streak, there are tough teams to break it, and that was Harrisburg. The Cougars came to Memorial Field and beat the Little Lions 20-0. After this loss, something changed within the Little Lions. State High beat teams by 20-plus points per winning game, but after Harrisburg, they cannot reach over 10-plus point differential. State College played Altoona before and after Harrisburg, and the score difference was noticeable. Before Harrisburg, State College crushed Altoona at home 49-7. However, after Harrisburg, the Little Lions could only hold a 10-point differential against them, ending at 16-6. The yardage before this turning point game was impeccable, with Eddie Corkery contributing these yards. On average, State College moved that ball 250 yards per game. After Harrisburg, the Little Lions' yardage dropped over 100 yards per game, averaging to about 150 yards. Even though the Little Lions had a tough season compared to last year, there were still outstanding players on the season. One being Ty Salazar. He is the current record holder for the most receiving yards in one career, beating the previous 1,547-yard record. Salazar heads into his senior year with 1,681 yards.
State High would go on to the PIAA District 6A Championship, but were knocked out the first round against McDowell. They lost 47-20 to end their season. Reporting in the studio, I'm Cora Rodriguez.
Thanks, Cora. Now let's look at Penn Cambria's season and their run into the playoffs. Reporter Bronwyn Leiber has more.
While the regular season didn't end as they would have liked, the Penn Cambria Panthers continue to show steady growth since its 2-8 record 5 seasons ago. Since 2019, the Panthers managed 3 wins in 2020, 6 wins in 2021, and 2 9-win seasons in the past 2 years. Penn Cambria's undefeated record at home and 93 record paved the way for head coach Nick Fielas and his squad to make a deep playoff run. Entering the postseason, the Panthers saw themselves in a similar situation to last year when they were knocked out after an ugly first-round performance to Central. Vengeance in their eyes, the Panthers redeemed themselves with a first-round 32-28 victory over Tyrone by scoring 13 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. The Panthers' offense was the clear standout as they had a monstrous 402 carries, which translated to 2,016 rushing yards. The offense alone stayed moving as running back Thomas Plunkett averaged 70.3 rushing yards a game, which led him to totaling for 18 touchdowns on the season, along with wide receiver Gavin Harold combining for 1,614 all-purpose yards. On the defensive end, Derek Height managed 8.5 tackles per game and then a tremendous 11 sacks on the season, ranking him in the top 20 for sacks in the state of Pennsylvania. After finishing 4th in the Laurel Highlands Conference and making a second-round playoff appearance, Penn Cambria has a lot to be proud of as they head into their offseason.
Will Penn Cambria continue their 4-year season growth into a 5th? Only time will tell for these Panthers. Reporting in studio, I'm Bronwyn Leiber.
Thanks, Bronwyn. After watching and waiting for conference championship weekend to solidify the college football playoff, number 10 ranked Penn State now has its bowl game destination, the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Reporter Mac Young has more on the Nittany Lions matchup with an unfamiliar SEC team.
The Nittany Lions had a season of exciting highs and crushing lows. For the second straight year, the Nittany Lions have finished the regular season with a record of 10-2. Now, Penn State will play in its first ever Peach Bowl against Ole Miss of the SEC. Coach Lane Kiffin of the Rebels sees this game as a great recruiting opportunity.
Anytime that your players are having success on the field and doing well, helps you in recruiting.
Meanwhile, the Nittany Lions are dealing with lots of moving parts, with potential player opt-outs and the recent hiring of new offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki. The former Kansas OC will offer explosive play calling in 2024, but Penn State coach James Franklin says not to expect Kotelnicki to call plays right away.
Andy will be here more just taking everything in, getting a feel for how we operate, the culture, very similar to when we hired Manny.
Penn State will look to snap a 3-game losing streak to SEC opponents in bowl games December 30th at noon in Atlanta.
Thanks, Mac. Well, guys, if Penn State wins the Peach Bowl, they'll be the first team in college football history to win all 6 New Year's Six bowl games. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And considering that neither Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, nor Michigan haven't even done that feat yet.
Absolutely. And with his first year starting quarterback, it's pretty impressive stuff. And when quarterbacks face their very first start season, there's bound to be some growing pains. But for this player, he learned from the best and hit the ground running.
Our player of the year is the Swiss Army knife who led Central to a 4th straight District 6 title, that being quarterback Eli Muethler. Muethler took over for the Dragons at quarterback for the graduated Jeff Hohenstein, who threw 51 touchdown passes in 2022. With the offense now led by him, Muethler quarterbacked the Dragons' playoff run as he threw for over 2,800 yards and 32 touchdown passes in his junior campaign. He is also in the Central secondary, recording 7 interceptions and finishing 5th on his team with 43 tackles. Muethler will be back for his senior season next year.
Muethler seemed to have done it all, guys, for the Dragons, and including partaking in one of our top plays of the year.
And speaking of top plays, I think it's time we hop into our top 5 plays from this season.
There were a ton of highlight plays throughout this 2023 season. Either it was through the air or on the ground, but these were handpicked to be our favorite game play moments. We're going to kick things off with number 5, Garden Spot's Kai Harding. Quarterback there, throwing that screen pass. What? Trenton Hoover goes past the defender, breaks a few tackles with the spin cycle, and finds open grass ahead. Takes it 57 yards for the score. Now, we're going to stop it, come back to the play, and we're going to slow it down for you right here. He gets that screen, jukes immediately past that defender off the catch, and just spins his way out of trouble, breaking 2 defensive tackles. What a play for the Garden Spot receiver.
That's a good play, but let's hop into number 4 here now. Tyrone's Ashton Walk, the quarterback, dropping back, unleashes a 39-yard bomb downfield and going up to get it. None other than Drayvon Crowell, the big man, going up over 1 and 2 defenders and making his way into the end zone. Let's look at that one more time. I'll do a little impersonation here of Booger and Randy Moss. You got Moss, son. Over 1 and 2 defenders one more time jumping into the end zone.
Those two are good, but not as number 3 as Xander Richardson spinning and cutting. Oh my goodness, and wait for it. Oh, there's the stiff arm right into the ground. I'm sorry, did Marshawn Lynch unretire and nobody tell me this? He's gonna go all the way into the end zone, but you guys know, we have to look at that again. Look at this spin move. Oh my goodness, right there, the cut, and then, as you know, right here, putting him right in the ground. What a stiff arm, what a play.
Yeah, now we're going to move on to it number 2. Cambria Heights looking to try to get into the end zone here. Handoff to Garrett Jasper. Play looks to be dead, but Jasper coughs up the football. Jalen Robinson hops on it and takes it all the way. 81-yard scoop and score for the touchdown. Makes the score 21-7 in that game.
All right, that was a good play, but now it's time for the top play of the year. You've heard this name before. Quarterback Eli Mueffler, our player of the year, throwing a bomb down the sideline. Going up to catch that is Jack Dunn. Doesn't have the speed like Tyreek Hill, but look at that man go. Dragging 2 defenders down the sideline, throws him right off the body, and he'll walk his way into the end zone. Let's look at that one more time. Dunn making the grab, stiff arms 1 defender. 32 coming in for the headhunt, not going to get him there, bounces right off like a pinball on a bowling pin, and he's going to walk his way right into the end zone. None other than our top player being a part of our top play of the year.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but that looked like me during Thanksgiving break, running all around the field.
Yeah, he really put that defender right in his back pocket and just marched right into the pay dirt.
Absolutely, and that'll do it from our top plays of the year. What was your favorite top play from this season? Be sure to comment and follow all of our social media pages at ATWPSU to stay up to date with the show.
And from all of us here at After the Whistle, we wish you a happy holiday season. We'll see you in January for our spring show, where we'll hit the ground running in the new year with coverage of high school and Penn State basketball, wrestling, lacrosse, baseball, and softball.
Until next year, thank you for catching up with us on high school football action right here on After the Whistle.